Good morning, everybody. It's Ms. Dobeck here, checking in for our daily video on keeping your mental health healthy. I wanted to talk today about our brain diets, and that is referring to what thoughts, noises, ideas, things of that nature that we're allowing into our brains for the day. Basically, what we are feeding our brains. Okay. So, in this day and age, our brain diets come from a variety of sources. A lot of those being TV, media, of course, social media. A lot of that also comes from other people. And the big one, especially because we talk to ourselves more than we talk to anybody, comes from our own self and our own talk and what we're feeding our brains. So, I just wanted to talk for a few minutes about how we can be a little bit more mindful and conscientious of what we are actually allowing and feeding our brains, because that can really have a big effect on how we're feeling for the day. It can, if we're allowing positive things in, it can really help us feel happy and maybe motivated and, just good for the day. If we are allowing a lot of negative or scary things in for the day, that can cause a lot of anxiety or depression. So, we do have some control over what we feed our brains for the day, and I just wanted to talk for a minute about that. So, let's talk first about TV and media and things like that. So, as far as TV, media, the streaming services, all of those kinds of things go, okay, we can watch the news for the day. We have 24-hour-a-day news. We want to be very careful about how much news we are watching right now. With everything going on, it can be a little overwhelming and a little scary if we are watching the news all the time. The news is great, it helps us stay informed, but we really want to limit that. It will help our brains in the long run if we limit that to just a little bit, just getting enough information we need for the day and then turning off that news. We want to just be aware of how much we're watching that. Same thing with TV shows and things in general. We can watch things that are more scary, or more kind of negative, and it can really make us feel some anxiety and depression. It does affect us. Everything that we're putting into our brains does affect our emotions. Or we can choose to watch very positive things. We can choose to focus on maybe some of the TV shows that are showing all the helpers right now. A lot of you have probably heard that expression, is that when something is going on that's maybe not so great, look for the helpers. There's always people helping and doing things, just being positive, helping each other. So we can choose to focus on those, and I guarantee you're going to feel better about everything if you focus on something like that, rather than some of the negative things. So again, just being very mindful of what we're allowing into our brains. Same thing for social media. Okay, a lot of us love our social media, and it can be a wonderful thing right now. It can keep us in contact with others. I mean, I'm coming to you guys through video on social media and things like that. It can be a really healthy thing. But again, we want to be really mindful how we're using it. I had to, I was getting some anxiety from some of my social media, so I needed to go through and right now just kind of unfollow some of the people who, were maybe being pretty negative about things, being a little more dramatic about things than they needed to. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? So right now, it might be a really positive thing if you go through your social media and more mindfully choose who you're going to follow. I love my social media now because it's filled with cat videos and free exercise programs and positive quotes and happy pictures and things of that nature. So again, just being more mindful. It can be a really positive thing, can also be a negative thing. It's up to us to choose how we use these and what we allow to come into our brain and what we feed our brain. Two more things is other people. So again, the people we are around and the people that are talking to us, they're going to kind of have things going in and out of our brains, right? When we're listening to them and when we're talking to them. We want to be more mindful and conscious about who we are allowing to have those thoughts take up our mind for the day, right? Take up some of our time. So, some people we have to be around and we don't really have a choice. Others we do have a choice about. And so, we again want to be more mindful about who we're listening to, who we're actually, giving that attention to, and things like that. If we have to be around people and maybe they're struggling a little bit, and maybe their negativity and anxiety are kind of getting the best of them, we can be that positive person for them for the day. So again, we can help other people with their brain food and help them get some positive thoughts going in there. The last thing is ourselves. We talk to ourselves more than we talk to anyone else. So we want to be really mindful of what we're saying to ourselves. We can kind of get ourselves going and, oh my gosh, all this stuff is making me anxious and I'm getting, scared and I'm feeling real negative. Or we can say, you know what, I'm going to take this time and I'm going to help others, or I'm going to work on something I've been wanting to work on for myself for a long time. I'm going to use this in a healthy way. I'm going to use this in a positive way. So again, we can really change our moods and our emotions just by what we're feeding into our own brains. So you just want to be very careful and mindful and conscientious about what is coming into your brain, what your brain food is. We want to do this every day, but especially right now, it's really important. So I hope you guys can work on this a little bit. I hope you have a great day. I hope it's filled with some positivity and some happiness, and I hope you can spread some of that to others as well. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.